Hello and good morning. I'm glad you can all be here with us to celebrate for induction ceremony for the Sigma Theta Tau International Phi Pi chapter of Chamberlain University. Phi Pi chapter has been inducting Chamberlain nurses and Chamberlain leaders into the Sigma Theta Tau Honor Society since October 20th of 2011. So you are now joining a very elite group of extraordinary Chamberlain nurses, faculty, and leaders that are also members of the premier Honor Society of Nursing. We are glad you could join us today. So welcome to our inductees, to our chapter leaders, and to your guests. We hope that you have some family joining you today. As Chamberlain University grew, when we started our young chapter, the Phi Pi chapter, in 2011, Chamberlain had 5 ground campuses. So we had physical induction ceremonies at the 5 ground campuses once a year, or we rotated and went around and had an induction at one campus, and then the next time had an induction at another campus. Well, as you know today, Chamberlain has grown and is huge, having about 28 campuses at least, with more on the way. They're the largest graduate of nursing students in the United States, and we do graduate extraordinary nursing students who become nurses and nurse leaders. So we are happy that we were able to go fully virtual for our inductions in 2018. We want to be inclusive and not exclusive. And we found we were excluding too many people when we were doing on-ground campus inductions. And we are just very glad that you could all join us. My name is Dr. Leanne Pronovost. I'm the president of the Phi Pi chapter of Sigma. We are a volunteer organization. We are a 501(c) nonprofit organization operating under Sigma Theta Tau International. The Phi Pi chapter is chapter number 494. Out of approximately today, there's about 550 or 570 chapters. So we're a young chapter. Our chapter is just turned 13 years old this October, but we're a powerhouse chapter. We're a big chapter with our volume of Chamberlain graduates and leaders we have. So none of this can be done. A nonprofit organization cannot be done by a single person. And here's our board of directors that works very hard. Our volunteer positions in Sigma many times will encompass several hours a week. It would not be unusual for the president, the treasurer, one of the counselors to spend 10 hours or more during certain weeks completing Phi Pi activities so that we can produce induction ceremonies for you and do some of the other events and functions that we'll talk about later. So I am Leanne Pronovost. I am president number 7 of the Sigma chapter. I was of the Phi Pi chapter. I was also president number 4, so I came back for some more fun. In my first presidency, we earned our first Key Award, and the Key Award is a award of distinction for a chapter that you've met all these very highly set standards and processes and provided services for your members. And we have 3 Key Awards now and getting our 4th Key Award, God willing, in Indianapolis at the biennium event. So my life changed when I became involved with Sigma and the Sigma board, and I've continued my involvement now for several years, and it's one of the highlights of my life. My vice president, Joy Whitlatch, lives here in Phoenix, as I do, and she's been on the board also for several years, holding various positions, and she's the vice president. Our treasurer, Tyler Morrison, lives in Texas. He is a graduate of Chamberlain University BSN program, and he is now getting his master's and works as a staff nurse in Texas. Our treasurer, Nadine Cesare, lives in Florida. She works at the Miramar campus, and she also works online in the psychiatric nurse practitioner program. And she has one of the biggest jobs of the chapter, because to try to do all the bookkeeping and accounting for the chapter is a large job. And the taxes, she just got done doing the taxes. So our past president, Alan Perez, has been with me and the board since 2016 with Phi Pi. And I remember sitting on a hotel room in Indianapolis. We sat on the floor with a couple other Phi Pi members in 2016 at the biennium, where we were told, you are the largest chapter in the world. And our chapter at that time was only 6 years old. We didn't even have an email system. We were all using our personal emails. And Alan's very tech savvy. He set about building a technical infrastructure for our chapter and setting up social media accounts and really helping us to be able to reach our members no matter where they live. We have members in Africa. We have members at the northern top of Alaska. We have members in all 50 states, the District of Columbia, Canada, the Philippines, 6 different countries, last I checked. So we really are a global international chapter, and Alan has allowed us to reach members no matter where they are. Tanya Spillman is our lead counselor. So of all the positions on our board, the only position where the person has to work at Chamberlain University is the counselor position. And that's because they are dealing with internally with Chamberlain stakeholders and generating the list of potential inductees. And they're seeing that and dealing with that. The list may have 10,000 names on it when Tanya gets this list. So it's a very large job for her to do and work through. And of course, we have an administrative assistant, Sarah Thimes, who's not pictured here, but really is the grease that runs the wheels behind the whole organization. They get the induction list out to thousands of members every 3 months. And so without Tanya, we'd be in a world of hurt, because she does a fabulous job coordinating with the other counselors, Crystal Walden, Domicile Semetro, and Gordon Natal. We have also governance that helps write policies and procedures for the chapter. And we have leadership succession that helps with each election each year. So there's other opportunities for leadership positions that are elected. And I'd like you to just kind of be thinking about it. So you don't have to be the president of a Chamberlain campus or the dean or anything like that. So when I applied for my position in 2014, I was working at the Phoenix campus, and I was a counselor at the Phoenix campus. At that time, we had counselors at each campus, and now we've gone to virtual counselors that cover many campuses. But I didn't read the book. I didn't read the book that said that you needed to have your doctorate, or that you needed to be the dean or in leadership or campus president, that you needed to be one of those things to be the president of the Phi Pi chapter of Sigma Theta Tau. And I just skipped off and ran for the president in 2016 for the 2017 presidency, and I won. And just as a staff nurse at the Phoenix campus, an instructor at the Phoenix campus, and Sigma has really changed the whole trajectory of my nursing career professionally and with Chamberlain. Now I teach online in the MSN FNP program, and I'm a visiting professor. I also do consulting work for nurses getting their doctorate or PhD and help with some editing and that. But I do the part-time jobs so that I can live my passion, which is helping other nurses be nurse leaders. And Sigma Theta Tau Phi Pi chapter allows me that opportunity. So thank you to the board of the directors that works very hard on the behalf of professional nursing at Chamberlain.
Good morning. Thank you, Dr. Prenavos, for letting me introduce today's guest speaker. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sarah, and I am the Membership Involvement Chair here at Phi Pi of Sigma. Today's speaker is Demetrius Kirk, a registered nurse, licensed nursing home administrator, healthcare executive, and current Doctor of Nursing Practice student. He's the founder of SMK Medical, a consulting company that helps long-term care facilities improve compliance, leadership, and outcomes. Known for his dynamic style and powerful storytelling, Demetrius brings a message rooted in lived experience, hard work, and the belief that leadership is built, not handed out. He's here to remind us that where you come from is only part of your story. What matters is where you're going. Please join me in welcoming Demetrius Kirk.
Thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here and to speak to the Phi Pi chapter of Sigma, Chamberlain University. It is such an honor to be here. First, I want to congratulate each and every one of you here. You did it. I want you to take a second right now in this moment, wherever you are, whether you're in your car, you're at home, you're at work, and let it sink in. Let this moment sink in. So you're being inducted into something meaningful, something great. I'm here to tell you a quick story. And by quick, the next 10 to 15 minutes of your life. But I'm here to tell you a story. And if my story helps you hold your head higher, walk a little bolder into your future, then it's worth every word. I think that each and every one of you here will be able to connect with a portion of my story because we all have gone through struggles in life. We all have struggled to get to where we are. Nothing was handed to any of us. By now, I'm sure you're thinking, who is this guy speaking? Who is this guy talking? I know they did a quick introduction of me, a quick bio, but let me tell you a little bit more about myself, a little bit more about my story and why I am here speaking with you today. My name is Demetrius Kirk. I am a registered nurse, a licensed nursing home administrator, a healthcare executive, and like many of you on this call, on this Zoom, on this Teams, a student. In fact, I am a DNP student with roughly little less than 3 months left until I have finished my DNP journey. But let me be very clear. I should not be here speaking to you. I should not be a nursing home administrator. I should not be a registered nurse. I should not be any of those things. And that's not me saying it. That's the people around me who had a major influence in my life. Those are the things that they told me I should not be. See, I grew up in Detroit, Michigan. I grew up on food stamps and not the digital kind, not the EBT card, not the debit card. I'm talking old school paper booklets, the kind where you had to stand in line to get them, the kind where you can feel the people driving by staring at you as you stand outside of a building to get these food stamps, the kind that people knew you were on welfare when you're standing in line at the grocery store. Not the kind that you can just swipe nowadays. See, I come from a single parent household. My mom did her best, but unfortunately, she spent 20 out of 30 days in every month in the hospital. And that was because she suffered from a disease called sickle cell anemia. What I've learned over time is that my mom often fought for her life while trying to provide and give me a life. See, back then, growing up, I didn't know that we were struggling. I didn't know that we were truly a poor family. When I was in kindergarten, first grade, second, and third, I used to get this free winter coat and this little box of goodies every year. It came with socks, it came with jeans, came with a little bit of candy. And I thought it was super, super cool. Well, it wasn't until later in life, maybe fifth, sixth, seventh grade, that I realized that, hey, we were poor. That was charity. It wasn't, in fact, a fashion statement that they gave to everyone. They brought the kids down to the room and gave them their own independent box, gave us a coat because we couldn't afford it. It was, in fact, charity, but I didn't know it at the time. You fast forward later in my life as a struggling student in Detroit public schools, and you land at one of the most pivotal times in my life, and that is, in fact, eighth grade. See, in eighth grade, I was just like any other rambunctious kids, right? I was loud. I was, myself, loved to talk. And one day my teacher said, you know what? You're not going to talk in my class. I want you to write 100 times, I will not talk in Miss So-and-so's class. Let's call her Bruno. And me, being innovative, I taped 3 pencils together and I wrote it 33 times. Gives you 99 plus one more gives you 100. And my teacher observed me doing that. And instead of saying, Demetrius, wow, you're being innovative, you could be an engineer, I'm going to tell you exactly what she said to me. She said, Demetrius, by the time you turn 18, you're going to be dead or in somebody's penitentiary. You think like a criminal. Let that sit in. A teacher who is there to really help students move it forward said by the time you turn 18, you'll be dead or in someone's penitentiary. Now, we don't say our name like Bruno, but I will say in eighth grade in Detroit, Michigan, at Longfellow Middle School, this teacher was wearing a green blazer. Now, in that moment, something in me snapped, and it wasn't anger. It was the kind that makes you decide to do something different. The kind that says, look, I'm going to prove you wrong. So I go on to graduate eighth grade and go to high school just like everyone else. And in high school, I'm working super hard because I want to be something. I want to do something. And I want to prove that teacher wrong. So when I graduated high school, I was proud to say I'm walking across the stage. I was proud when they called my name. But wasn't proud of was my GPA. See, I graduated high school with a 1.0 GPA. That's 1.0. I was number 62 out of 62. See, I graduated by the grace of God and probably a tired guidance counselor who just said, let him go. Because I'm sure by the time he turns 18, he'll be dead or in somebody's penitentiary. Well, I graduated. And like many low-income students, many low-income people, I didn't have a college prospect. I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. I did know I liked this young lady. Her name was Stephanie Morales. And I knew that I wanted to date her. So I started dating her at 18. And one day she looked at me clear as day and said, look, if you want to be with me, you're going to have to go to school and be something. And like any foolish boy, I enrolled in the next community college that I could find because I wanted to be with Stephanie Morales. As I'm going to this community college, I find out about this little thing called becoming a CNA. And I went and became a CNA. And that decision to become a CNA changed the trajectory of my life. See, as a CNA, I thought what many of us think as a CNA, I can't say everyone, but I know I did. I thought, you know what, I can probably be a nurse. Because they just pass meds and sit down. I mean, what are they really doing? I'm doing all the work. So I started my coursework to become a registered nurse because why not? They just sit down and do nothing anyway. And through the course of my studies, I was getting good grades because I was challenged. I was getting A's in biology, sociology, psychology. I was getting A's. But one of the places where I struggled, and I always have struggled, was the English classes. See, I didn't know where a comma went in there. I didn't know which two to use, TWOTOOTO. This is too much. Still don't know at 35. So when I went to take the English test, When I went to take the test to get into nursing school, I could not pass the English grammar portion. Man, I took that test probably about 3 or 4 times, and each time I failed. It was weird because I spoke English, I argued in English, but that test said, no, you're not going to get into RN school. I was great at math, I was great at the sciences, but I could not tell you where a comma went on that test. So I did what any other student would do. I cried. And in the mix of me crying, one of the instructors of the RN program said, hey, let me tell you about something. Once you go be an LPN, and once you become an LPN, you can walk right into an RN program. So I did my research, and I learned that if you become a licensed practical nurse, apparently English does not matter because you no longer have to take that test. You can go right into the RN program. And that was the start of my nursing career. That LPN certificate laid the foundation for me to be a better RN, to be a better leader, and a better person. So I became a licensed practical nurse. After that, I became a registered nurse. I did not let no stop me because I've been told no more times than I can count. No, you can't pass this. No, you don't look like a leader. No, you're not what I'm looking for. That was my girlfriend at the time. No, you're not what I'm looking for. No, no, no. But I kept going and I kept showing up, just like each and every one of you on this call. Even when my vision was blurry, even when I didn't know how I was going to afford the next class, how I was going to get to work, how I was going to eat, I kept showing up. And I kept showing up. And through the times of me showing up, I learned that life has a funny way of teaching you lessons without a syllabus. See, my past in Detroit taught me how to hustle. It taught me how to grind. It taught me the definition of grit, how to feel people's pain, and how to lead. What I learned is that where you start doesn't dictate where you finish. I started with a 1.0 GPA, and now I'm on my way to becoming Dr. Kirk. And not the honorary kind they give to celebrities, the kind that you work hard for, the kind that you write one paper at a time. I know my nurses know that. The kind where you do one clinical at a time and one sleepless night at a time. See, your rearview mirror, it's just that. Think about your car. It's small, and it's small on purpose. And God designed it that way. See, you're supposed to glance at your past, but you're not supposed to live there. Your windshield, what's in front of you, is where your focus should be. If I had let my rear view define me, I'd still be that hungry kid in Detroit with a charity coat. What I want from each and every one of you today is to hold your head up high because you've made it. You're here. You've arrived. If no one has told you, I am telling you, you have arrived. Not just because you're being inducted, because you have survived something. Some of you have survived doubt. Some of you have survived fear, or maybe even yourself, but you have survived. Don't minimize what you've overcome to get here. You've came from struggle. You've came from issues that no one can imagine, but you come from strength. And even if that strength came wrapped in struggle, you have arrived. When life hits you with another no, when your patient load feels impossible, when your test scores hurt, I want you to remember this face. Remember this story, the story of DJ. I turned no into next. I passed the LPN exam when I couldn't pass the RN interest test. I'm living proof that rejection is not the end, it is just a reroute. What's behind you doesn't get to drive you. Your rearview mirror is small for a reason. Your windshield, now that's your future. And if nobody else tells you, let me be the first. You've got everything it takes to keep going. You got everything it takes to keep winning. You got everything it takes to complete your degree, complete your next degree, to land that job, to land that promotion. That fire is in you. My mom, even in her pain, in those hospital days, she used to tell me all the time, DJ, I want you to live life with no regrets. Now, as a young kid, I'm thinking, what does she know about living life with no regrets? What does that even mean? Live life with no regrets. Well, that was her motto, and now it's mine. And today I'm going to pass it on to you. I want you to walk out of here and live life bold. Make the tough calls, make the decisions, and live life with no regrets. I want your eyes on the windshield, your foot on the gas, and don't you dare look back for too long because you got this. Congratulations, Phi Pi. You got this. Live life with no regrets. Thank you.
Thank you. That was wonderful. Let's get down to the induction ceremony. So, Sigma, who are we? We are Global Nursing Honor Society. We're the second largest nursing professional organization in the world. I think there's one in the United Kingdom that's a little bit larger than us, but Sigma has over 130,000 to even up to 150,000 members in many different countries across the globe. And chapters are opening up in different countries all the time. One of the things that Sigma has now are hospitals can have a Sigma chapter. There's at-large chapters, and you heard me say that Catherine was a member of an at-large chapter. And an at-large chapter can be a couple of hospitals. It can be a hospital partnered with a nursing school. So there's all kinds of opportunities to be involved in Sigma. We hope you will stay in the Phi Pi chapter. We feel that for your money, and it's about $10 a month when you do the math, that we're a very, very good deal. And our mission and vision, we're connecting and empowering nurse leaders, and we're transforming global healthcare. Gone are the days where we are just sitting in our backyard in our own little community and impacting healthcare. What we do today is impacting communities, states, nations, and our world. So our mission, that's a big job we have out there, nurses. Our mission is to develop nurse leaders anywhere to improve healthcare everywhere. So here's Sigma at a glance. The Honor Society, as we know it today, Sigma, and we used to say Sigma Theta Tau International. A few years ago, we shortened our name to Sigma, and we had to do a vote on that. There were some quite strong feelings on that, but we're Sigma. Was founded as Sigma Theta Tau International in 1922. So we just had our 100-year birthday 2 years ago. 6 nursing students, 6 just regular nursing students came together and they said, this is not fair. There are Greek honor societies for, our brothers here and our brothers there. And just because we're nurses, why can't we have an honor society? So they were trailblazing at their time in the 1920s for them to be so bold as to do something like this. So they were at Indiana University, and the 6 founding members, from their meager starts in 1922, we've grown to over 100,000 active members. And let me tell you, you are always a member of Sigma. When your dues are paid, you are an active member. When your dues are not paid, you are an inactive member, but you are still considered a member of Sigma. And you can activate that membership at any time going online. And I have a couple of times gone inactive, but I have activated right back up, and I won't go inactive again. But you are always a member. More than 600 countries we have nurses in, 600 chapters in over 100 countries around the world. Sigma also collaborates with several global organizations to improve the health of the world's people. We have representation at the United Nations. And if you guys watch the information that you get from Sigma, there are opportunities to do a cohort and with Sigma and go to the United Nations and be involved with that. We've had a couple of our members do this. This offers members the opportunity to extend their reach outside of their own communities. We're really excited and filled with pride today to welcome our new inductees into our diverse and global chapter. So Sigma members are leaders at all levels of the healthcare industry. The society only extends membership to students and baccalaureate or graduate level programs who have demonstrated superior academic achievement, academic integrity, and professional leadership potential. To the nurse leader candidates, they exhibit exceptional achievements in nursing. So today you're here because you've met the GPA standards and the professional behavior standards that have allowed you an invitation to join. You may have some friends on campus or in your online cohorts that didn't get an invitation. They can still apply to be Sigma members as nurse leaders. So that's always an option. And we have an email, admin@phipi.org. So we'll give that to you again at the end of the presentation, but your friends are welcome to join us and we will look at their resume. And we love to also induct nurse leaders. Chamberlain faculty, any Chamberlain faculty is automatically has an invitation to Phi Pi. So we hope that your faculty members are members of Phi Pi too. So our membership includes top-notch nursing executives, clinicians, educators, researchers, policymakers, entrepreneurs, and others. You are among this distinguished group of nurses, students, and professionals who have met or exceeded the rigorous standards, and they are rigorous standards. It's hard to maintain that really great GPA when you're working, you have a family, and all of the studies you have to do. These rigorous standards that you met have allowed you to receive an invitation to join Sigma. So you truly deserve our congratulations. And people will say, oh, is this real? Is this really a big deal? This is very real, let me tell you. And this is a very big deal. So for your family there, if you're thinking, well, this is nice, my son, my daughter, my husband, my wife, my loved one is in the honor society, that's very nice. It is very nice. And it's a very, very big deal. I want to point out on this slide here, when we go to Sigma conferences, a lot of times they'll want to do headshots and offer free headshots. And so you will notice down in the very bottom row, in the second from the left-hand side, is our past president, Alan Perez. There he is. So they caught his headshot at one of the conferences we attended, and he's on a lot of Sigma's marketing materials. So yay for Alan. And if you all go to some of these conferences, and we have 3 in the next year, you may have your picture taken and be on our next induction slide. So together, we are Sigma. The leadership and scholarship that you have displayed represent the essence of the society. So together, collaboratively, we are Sigma. Our founders chose the Greek letters Sigma, Theta, Tau. So I don't know how they got to choose the letters, but the Sigma stands for love. The theta stands for courage, and the tau or ta stands for honor. So wonderful. Love, courage, and honor. Things we so need in nursing today, especially that courage, because it's a tough field, but we're doing great things out there. So our founders believed these to be enduring values that we hold true today. We also have a crest and a little pin that I got at one of the Sigma conferences that has this on there. Our crest, it symbolizes the enduring values and our commitment to wisdom and discernment, service, professional endeavor, and strength of leadership and knowledge. Knowledge is represented as the lamp, service, professional endeavors, and strength of leadership are represented by the pillar or the stone at the right and the left. And then wisdom and discernment are represented as the eye on the crest here. We have a key. And I talked about the key award before, and that's an award that each chapter can apply for every other year at the biennium. And there's about 76 criteria. It's some pretty stringent criteria of things you do and things you offer and how you maintain your chapter. So the key is embedded in a membership pin. I got one of those at a conference too. It reminds us of our charge to uphold love, courage, and honor, and it's a symbol of scholarship. The cup denotes the satisfaction of professional life, and most times it is satisfying. The circle with its 6 stars represents our 6 founders. The lamp is the lamp of knowledge, and the letters in black represent our charge. Remember that our key symbolizes your commitment to nursing excellence. So what's in it for you besides you've given some money? And so now what happens? What do you get in return? You get plenty in return. And so membership in any professional organization is what you put into it and what you take out. So Sigma offers membership benefits, but you're also a member of the largest Sigma chapter in the world. So our chapter also offers benefits too. So you got kind of a double whammy there. So one of the things, Sigma offers free nursing continuing professional development courses. I have seen they do offer NCLEX prep webinars with some of the top experts in the country that write the books on NCLEX prep. So you will be getting emails from the Circle and from Sigma with these kind of events that are going on. So give one a try. You get free online journals and member publications. Sigma has a career connection to shape your path. And they have some academic academies. And I didn't know it was going to be during the pandemic, but I joined one of the academic academies in 2019 that started in March of 2020, right when the pandemic started. So our academy was supposed to be hosted in person for several of the meetings, and it was all virtual. But this academy was for experienced nurse educators, and it ended up being 18 months long. We were delayed. It was supposed to be a year because of the pandemic. But that being in that academy really helped me reevaluate what did I want to do with my nursing career and the rest of my nursing career, what was important to me and how I could impact professional nursing. So that connection really shaped my path. I can't even tell you how much. We have a area that we can have conversations, and it is called the Circle. So you can join different areas of the Circle if you're a NICU nurse, if you're a community health nurse, if you're a nurse educator, and you can have communications with like-minded nurses, ask questions, offer suggestions, network. So your induction is definitely not the end of your culmination of your scholarly or professional achievements. Instead, your induction signifies the beginning of membership and your membership journey, the start of your involvement with a global network of peers and mentors who are here to guide and support you wherever your nursing career takes you. I have those Sigma t-shirts too. So please gather, friends and family. You don't have to stand. If you're on the sofa, maybe you have some orange juice. We're having a morning induction, and prepare to say the induction pledge. The um, members will say this. Okay, maybe you're alone, but I still want you to say this out loud. I accept membership in Sigma Theta Tau International, and I pledge to fulfill its commitment to nursing excellence, knowledge, service, and leadership throughout my career. You know, I think there's a lot of you on this induction today, and I feel like I could hear you. I could hear that just gentle rumble of you accepting membership. So welcome, welcome to Sigma. It's a big deal. Help us everyone congratulate our new Phi Pi members. Now that you are official members of Sigma, the opportunities to become involved, grow, and develop as leaders and contribute to the nursing profession are virtually endless. And one thing I learned in my academy that I went to, I had to set a roadmap for success. I wanted to do everything. I want to be in this, I want to be in that, give me that committee. And I was spreading myself too thin. So I have a major presence in Sigma, and that fills my cup. I will tell you, you'll see everyone, and I've got my cord and my Sigma stool on here, and you can see these folks. If you are attending your graduation on campus or at Chicago for the online students, virtual students, yes, you can order and wear your cord and your stole. You can wear both of them or one of them. So they are on sale through the Sigma Marketplace. And when we do go to graduation in Chicago, and we have a table and we sell cords and stoles at cost in case anyone has forgotten them. And I just want to point out one of many of these persons on this slide. I've seen them before at conferences. The fella on the second to the top on the left-hand side, Benji is from the Philippines, and he was in my academic nurse leader cohort. And I've followed him since our cohort ended in the end of 2021, and he has published, and he's very, very involved in his country. So you have a membership that matters. Each of you will experience membership in your own way. In fact, Sigma membership is an experience that's yours to design. Here's some poster presentations. I hope you will make use of the many opportunities that membership has to offer. Not only do you have the opportunity to be involved locally, there are opportunities to participate in this global organization on a regional and international level as well. Now, the Phi Pi chapter, we are involved with three regional consortiums in Southern California. We're a member with 18 other chapters. And each October, we have a in-person ground conference there. We're always looking for presenters and poster presentations. We're a member of the St. Louis Consortium, and each spring in April, we have a dinner with a speaker and poster presentations there. And we take as many, you submit an abstract for St. Louis, we're going to take it. We want to see your poster. The last couple of years, we've admitted all posters. So that's a great place to disseminate some of your work, meet some folks. So each biennium, Sigma installs a new president at the international level. At the 47th Biennial Convention, we proudly installed Dr. Sandra Garman Bibb and introduced her as the 35th Sigma president. With influence from the board of directors, each president presents an organizational call to action to help guide members and chapters as we strive to fulfill our mission. The organizational call to action asks us to represent. As professional nurses and Sigma members, we have the credibility and visibility to speak and act on behalf of nursing and Sigma, and the opportunity to represent the vast diversity and capacity of the nursing profession to shape the world as we would like to see it. We are all leaders and we must represent our unique selves and collectively change our shared world. The call to action has three components from Dr. Bibb: reflect, respect, and respond. I'm not sure if our slide is stuck, but we are on represent. We also have respect there. So maybe it's a sign that we want you to consider this. How are you going to represent yourself as a professional nurse, as a Sigma member? I'm going to share a little bit of information about the 5 Pi chapter of Sigma. That is the chapter you have joined, chapter number 494. And we heard just a minute ago, there's over 600 chapters. And 2 years ago at the biennium, there were 550. So we've grown. So our 5 Pi chapter, we received our first, we were born on October 20th, 2011 in St. Louis, and that's where our chartering ceremony was done. Before we could even charter as a chapter, Chamberlain had to have their own honor society for about 3 years. And our president, Susan Grunwald, at the time, was very passionate, and from the very beginnings of Chamberlain, knew we needed an honor society and we needed one rapidly. And so our chapter, we're a very young chapter. Some of these chapters are 100 years old, 80 years old, 90 years old. We are a young chapter. And for us to receive our first Key Award on November 18th, 2019, at the 45th Sigma Biennial Convention was a big deal. And you will see me there. My hair was fluffier there. And I'm with the president at the time, Beth Tigges, and the CEO is Liz Magadan. And what you don't see in that picture is we also won, there is one international award for a chapter each biennium. So with 600 chapters applying for this one international award, there's very stiff competition. And in 2019, our chapter was only 8 years old. And I didn't read the book that said you can't get an international award when your chapter's only 8 years old and you've only had an email system for a year and a half. I didn't read that book, but what we did is we developed such a strong strategic plan. And with Alan Perez technologically abilities, we built a strong technical foundation for reaching our members no matter where they were. So I went up to get the Key Award, but I also went up and got the one and only international award for a chapter. It was for communications and publicity in 2019. So that was beyond very cool. I'll tell you that. Our second Key Award came in November 2021 at the 46th Biennial Convention. We have our chapter coordinating committee chair, Carol Liskey, is the then president at the time, Donna Castanelli, was getting her Key Award. And I guess there was a lot of flowers there too. She got some flowers. And then just last year, a year ago, our third consecutive Key Award in November 2023 at the 47th Biennial Convention. We have Tyler Morrison, our secretary, who is getting his master's, staff nurse, lives in Texas. We have Liz, Carol Liskey, excuse me, and she is the regional coordinator that presented us our Key Award. There we have our esteemed Alan Perez was the president. We have myself there, and I'm always the shortest one in the pictures, as the past president at that time. We have Nadine Cesare as the treasurer there, and we have the past president, Kenneth Dion, presenting our third key award. So if any of you are in Indianapolis for the 48th annual Sigma Biennium, which is coming up in Indianapolis next year, you can see us getting our fourth consecutive key award. One of the things we do, we want to give back. I mean, we're blessed. We are blessed to be nurses. We're blessed to live in our country. We're blessed to have what we have. So we try to never forget where we came from or where we could be. And so we have philanthropic events throughout the year. And as a virtual organization, sometimes it's hard to figure out what these are and how we can gain support. So we have supported a Haitian nursing student a couple of different times so that they could, and it was not a very big donation, but it paid for their nursing school for a whole year. We've done some comfort cases, which has been a virtual uh, event where we've got comfort cases for patients in need and ordered through an Amazon wish list. We've done Operation Holiday Cheer Pen Pal and wrote letters to our servicemen or to children in hospitals. We've done charity miles through St. Jude's Children's Hospital. There was an app and we walked. We have done saved stuffed animals where we'd get the skins of the animals. They were so cute. And we'd stuff them and fix them up and donate them to fire stations, to courts, anywhere where kids were going to be scared and needed a nice stuffing. Now, since the pandemic, we have kind of halted the stuffed animals because a lot of places don't want to take homemade goods. We did last year, and this was fun, Bandage Drive for Noah's Bandage Project. And this was something we did through Amazon and ordered different neat bandages that were distributed to children's hospitals or school nurses for kids needing a Band-Aid. So you got to order whatever you wanted, superheroes, Kermit the Frog, you name it. Amazon had all kinds of bandages, and sometimes you just got to shop. So that was kind of fun. We've done lots of other things at the campus, and we're always welcome for ideas and opportunities you may have too. So upcoming chapter events. So on our website, when you get to our website, phipi.org, you will want to log in because you don't see everything on the website unless you're logged in. But we have a monthly membership committee meeting. And that's where we have you all as PHI members get on this. We have the virtual inductions 3 times a year, and that's great if you can get on those, even if you're not being inducted, to support those that are. We have special events as scheduled. And so philanthropy projects as scheduled. So you'll just have to check our events page. We have a newsletter that goes out at least quarterly that will highlight some of these. And in addition to us having events, Chamberlain International is going to have events too. One of the call to action from Chamberlain for our chapter for this next year for 2025, Chamberlain would like us to put together a monthly or every other month dissemination webinar where we would have our DNP students, PhD students, even master students that have done a capstone project come and present your project and have 10 and 15-minute little disseminations of these projects. So watch for that. So how do you get in touch with us? Well, we're hard to not find. The one email you do want to remember is admin@phipi.org. So we all have an email. I'm president at phipi.org, treasurer, past president. So Sarah is admin@phipi.org, and she'll know where to position you if you have a question. We're on the Circle, and the Circle is unique to Cigna, so you'll have to sign up for your membership account. We're on Facebook. So if you remember Phi Pi of Sigma, Phi Pi of Sigma, Phi Pi of Sigma. So we're on Facebook, Twitter, I think it's X now, they call it, Instagram, and Venmo. Okay, so what's next for you? Be on the lookout for your welcome email from Sarah, admin@5pi.org. It's going to include information about your graduation regalia, these niceties, your shipping of your certificate. We would like you, please email a picture to us, communications@5pi.org. And that is Allison who does our communications. If you get mixed up, you can email it to Sarah too at admin@5pi.org. We'd like to see some of your pictures and post them on social media to introduce you to fellow members and get involved. You just never know what will happen, but you won't know, nothing will happen if you don't do anything. So at this time, I want to thank you all for being here and recognize any family and friends, faculty that have been here to celebrate this special occasion with us. It is because, amen, of the love and support of family and friends that you and me, that we are all in the position we are today. None of us would have gotten here, in a silo without a strong support system. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Our patients, thank you to those patients that we're going to go out and make a difference with, because you, the family, has supported us so we can go forth and make a difference in our world. And today we need a difference in our world. So thank you for being nurses and thank you for being members of Sigma. You should take pride in this role because you played a big role in making this happen for your loved ones. So once again, I don't know how many times I can say it, but congratulations and welcome to our newest Sigma members. On the next slide, you will see a scroll of your names that are going through. So go ahead and wait and watch as your names scroll through. Get a picture, send those pictures. And if for some reason we are real good about getting the names on there, you don't see yours or yours was left out, you just email admin@5pi.org and we will give you, and send a picture too, because we're going to give you a special shout out on social media.